Hey everybody, this is the first part of the Y2JBigmoney Sports Hour, Rush Hour. The second part of this show will be posted around 7 o'clock Eastern Local Time. Well, I know you guys are interested to hear who's leading in hitting stats and pitching stats. First, we'll start with the National League at Jose Reyes topping it out at average of batting of 341, coming in as of today. Next to Melky Cabrera, who's batting at 279. Ichiro Suzuki of Seattle is batting at 273. Sterling Castro of the Chicago Cubs is batting at 325. This guy, I don't know his name, but his name is D. Stubbs, playing for Cincinnati. He's batting at 255. Ricky Weeks of the Milwaukee Brewers is batting at 290. Adrian Gonzalez of the Boston Red Sox batting at 361. This guy's name is A. Cabrera, playing for the Cleveland Indians. He's batting in at 295. And Nick Markakis of the Baltimore Orioles is at an average of 277. And topping out is your top 10, Brandon Phillips of the Cincinnati Reds. He is batting in at a 299 average. One behind, 1 point before 300. Now your pitching stats. Justin Verlander, he's 10-3. He has an ERA of 2.38. He has he's topped out as one of the best pitchers throughout the American League lately. Roy Halladay tops out for Philly. He's also 10-3. He's got an ERA of 2.40. One of the best pitchers right now to pitch in the National League East. Number 3 topping in is Jared Weaver at his ERA. He's 9-4 with an ERA of 1.97. CC Sabathia of the New York Yankees, 10-4 with an ERA of 3.25. Topping in at number 5 is James Shields of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's 8-4 with an ERA of 2.29. King Felix, as they call him in Seattle, Felix Hernandez of the Seattle Mariners, he is 8-6 with a 3.19 ERA. Ian Kennedy of the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's 8-2 with an ERA of 3.01. Clayton Kershaw of the Los Angeles Dodgers, he's 8-3 with a 2.93 ERA. Coming in at number 9 is Cliff Lee of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's also 8-5 with an ERA of 2.87. And topping in at number 10 for your top 10 pitchers of this week is Cliff Lee. He is 9-4 with an ERA of 2.49. As you also heard last week, he is now has his back has been thrown out, and if you watched SportsCenter last week, he said if you can't throw anymore, you can't throw. Now moving on to tonight's games, you have starting in exactly 20 minutes is the Cubs at the Giants. The Giants at the Cubs. Sorry about that. Oh, it's also a doubleheader today. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's a doubleheader today. It's the Giants at the Cubs Part 1 doubleheaders at 2:20, and the second part is at 8:05. That's the only National League game that is being played today. The rest of the week is all interleague play. You got the Red Sox at the Phillies at 7 o'clock, the Brewers at the Yankees at 7:05. Mets are in Detroit. St. Louis is playing at Baltimore for the first time. Pittsburgh's at Toronto. Cincinnati's playing Tampa Bay. The Battle of Texas. Texas at Houston. And after the Dodgers' biggest victory last night of beating the Twins 15-0, they'll go off in Game 2 tonight at 8 o'clock. Followed by the White Sox at the Rockies at 8:40. Followed by Cleveland at Arizona. That's at 9:40. Florida at Oakland, which is at 10 o'clock. Kansas City at San Diego is at 10 o'clock. Washington at Los Angeles Angels is at 10 o'clock. And Atlanta at Seattle is at 10 o'clock. Now, moving on to the NFL. they're going to start labor talks for the next 4 days, whether to determine we have a lockout or not. So, my top 5 AFC teams to make a push for the playoffs for a Super Bowl run this year, starting at number 5, would have to be the Baltimore Ravens because of their defense. And with Ray Lewis at the helm, there's no way that defense won't make a playoff push, and they can do it, and they have the talent to do it. And at number 4, I would have to go with... who would I go with? I would go with the San Diego Chargers. I mean, they usually start hot, but they usually find a way to come out with a victory. And they usually find a way to... They're a second-half team, and they usually find a way to come out during the second half of the season. They'll make it in there. Number 3, the New England Patriots, after coming off a shocking loss last year in the divisional round to the New York Jets. And they've got, as long as they have Tom Brady, they're gonna be the top team to beat in the AFC East Conference. Number 2, I'm gonna say the Kansas City Chiefs. They're an up and coming team, young talent. Stadium's been rebuilt, and it was their first time in the playoffs for a very long time. So yeah, watch out for those Chiefs in the AFC West. And coming in at number 1 would have to be the New York Jets. I mean, the last 2 years, they've come so close. They've come so close to making it to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. Their second half meltdown against the Colts in 2009, and then first half meltdown against the Steelers last season. But Rex Ryan's got to stop making those predictions because those have been their downfalls. So, yeah, those are my AFC predictions. And now on to the NFC. Number 5, I have to start with the Atlanta Falcons. Because they have Matt Ryan, which he's pretty good in the playoffs, but he's pretty good in the regular season. But if he wants to prove himself in the playoffs, he's got to step up in the clutch. Number 4, I'm gonna say number 4 is gonna be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because last year they missed the playoffs after having a winning year at 10-6 in that tough NFC South division. But I say they step it up this year. They go 11-5, and they make the first round of the playoffs. Number 3 would have to be the Green Bay Packers. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. I don't know if they have enough talent to repeat, but if they can do what they did last year, I'm pretty sure they can make another run for the title. Number 2 would have to be... number 2. Who comes in at number 2? The number 2 team who's got to come in here would be the... who comes in at number 2 in my book? Number 2. Who comes in at number 2? I would have to say the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they had a great season last year. Lost to the Packers in the first round. Michael Vick's coming back off a great season. And he's going to have another outstanding year. In my book, he'll have another outstanding year. And at number 1, the number 1 team who can make a Super Bowl push, I give it to the Chicago Bears. Because last year, they should have won last year in my book. But when they took Jay Cutler out, there was no way they were coming back from that deficit to beat the Packers. The Packers just owned the Bears in the second half of that game. I mean, like, you don't take somebody out due to a little minor injury. That's kind of bogus. Like, you don't do that. You play throughout, and, that's what you do. So if you got any questions for me on my show, I will be posting this on YouTube and to my Facebook account. So if you got any questions for me, I will, tune in next Tuesday for another edition of the Y2JBigmoney Sports Run. So, later.